Good day everyone. So this is the group 10 and we will be reporting about the functions of money. Now what is money? Money is something that people use to pay for goods and services and also pay for debts. It replaced the old barter system where people traded items for other items. So money includes currency notes, coins, checks, and other forms used in transactions and trade. The main forms of money are commodity, metallic, paper, credit, and plastic money. So with money, it's easier to buy, sell, and know the value of things. Now, let us proceed with the functions of money. So, the functions of money can be divided into two categories, which is the primary functions. So, primary functions are the main or basic functions of money that consists of medium of exchange and measure of value. Second is the secondary functions, which are the subsidiary or derivative functions of money that consist of standard or deferred payments and the store of value.
Primary functions consist of the most important functions performed by money in every country. These functions are medium of exchange and measure of value or unit of account. First is medium of exchange. Medium of exchange, this means that money is used to buy and sell goods and services. It replaced the old barter system, where people had to exchange one good for another, which was difficult because both sides needed to want what the other had. Money solved this problem by being accepted everywhere as form of payment. For example, a farmer sells mangoes in the market and receives money which he can use to buy rice or clothes. Second is measure of value or unit of account. This means that money serves as a common standard to measure and compare the value of different goods and services. For example, if a shirt costs 500 pesos and the shoes cost 1,000 pesos, you can easily tell that the shoes are worth twice as much as the shirt. This function make it easier for people and businesses to record transactions, set prices, and keep accounts. Each country has its own unit of money, such as the peso in the Philippines, dollar in the US. Second category is secondary function. Secondary functions are supplementary to primary functions and are derived from primary functions. Therefore, they are also known as derivative functions. First is standard of deferred payments. This means money can be used to pay for goods and services at a later time, not just immediately. It allows people to borrow and lend money and make agreement where payment is delayed. For example, you buy a cell phone in installment and pay 1,000 every month. The second is store of value or asset function of money. Money can be saved and used in the future without losing its value quickly. It helps people keep their wealth safely and use it whenever needed. For example, akong ate need niya mag-save og kwarta para sa akong tuition.
The barter system involved trading goods and services directly without using money. This system had several problems, such as the difficulty of finding someone who wanted exactly what you were offering and who also had what you wanted in return. It called the lack of double coincidence of wants. Medium of exchange. Money acts as a common medium that everyone accepts in exchange for goods and services. You no longer need to find someone who wants to trade directly with you. Instead, you can sell your goods for money and then use that money to buy what you need from someone else. This makes buying and selling easier and faster. Next is measure of value. In the barter system, it was hard to decide how much of one good should be exchanged for another. Money solved this by providing a common unit of value that allows us to measure and compare the worth of different goods and services.
So, good day everyone. I am Abigail Tadeo and I am going to report the standard for deferred payments and store of value. So, standard for deferred payments in the barter system, people trade goods directly. For example, rice for fish or clothes for fruits. However, this system has a problem when it comes to deferred payments, which means paying later instead of immediately. Because if you borrow something today, it's hard to guarantee that you can repay with the same value or quality of goods in the future. For example, if you borrowed 10 kilos of rice, how can you be sure that the rice you return later will have the same quality or value? Prices and availability may change over time. Money solves this problem because it serves as a standard for deferred payments, meaning people can agree to pay or receive a specific amount of money in the future. This makes credit, loans, and business transactions easier and fairer. Store of value. In a barter system, it was very difficult to store wealth in form of goods because people use goods like rice, corn, animals, or clothes to trade. But it was hard to store wealth using these goods because many goods spoil or rot over time like fruits, vegetables, or meat. Some goods are bulky and need a lot of space to store. Transporting them is expensive and inconvenient. Because of this problem, people couldn't easily save or keep wealth for future needs. When money was introduced, it became much easier to store value. Money doesn't rot, doesn't take much space, and can be kept safely in wallets, banks, or safes. This allows people to save for the future and use it when emergencies or unexpected expenses happen. For example, Maria is a farmer who grows mangoes. She wants to save her wealth for the future, but her mangoes will rot after a few days, so she cannot store them for long. She can't use them later to buy something because they'll be spoiled. So, her problem is her wild mangoes loses value quickly. In short, in barter system, it's hard to store wealth because if goods spoil, take space and hard to transport. And this helps people save for the future needs or emergency. In use of money, it's easy to store value because of its convenient, safe, and last long. That's all. Thank you.